Hello guys, and assalamu alaikum to my Muslim viewers. I want to get on a touchy subject, and that is to what to say and what to do if you're a victim of molestation or any type of molestation, child molestation, whatever. Me personally, I'm trying to help out, because I'm also a victim of child molestation. Growing up, it was something that I kept inside a lot. Even though my father did do something to the person who did it to me, it still haunted me, because it happened to me when I was 5, and I'm 20 now, and I finally spoke up when I was like 17, 18, and but it helped me a lot when I spoke up. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to, be like, go talk to your parents, or go to like a school psychiatrist, or like an adult or older person in your life, and tell them, hey, sit them down and be like, hey, listen, I was molested by so and so, and I'm trying to tell you, so speak up, just don't be afraid, don't worry, that person that did it to you isn't gonna hurt you again, even if you did it repetitive times, even if it was little. Fortunate enough for me, it only happened to me once, and if you suffered from it a lot when you were a kid and you're holding it in, you haven't told anybody, it's better to tell people now, so that person doesn't do it to other kids or other people, like, you don't want that to happen. You don't want that living in your conscience or in your mind or anything like that, I'm gonna tell you my story in a couple seconds, but after you hear my story, I hope it gives you the confidence to speak up and tell people, and be like, hey, don't be afraid to, like, tell people that you was molested and it's all right. You're not the only one that has happened to, and I'm here for you, and I'm gonna be strong for you, whatever, So my story is, when I was 5, I used to live back here in Connecticut, where I live now, but in a different city. There's this my great grandma. She used to watch me after school for a couple hours until my mom got home from work. So I used to go over her house, and my grandmother, she was like a pastor back then, and she would like accept people into her house, but there's 3 main guys. One name is Eddie, one name is Wilfredo, the other one is Felipe. And so Eddie, he used to watch me. That's the one that was the only one that was allowed to watch me, because he was like a family friend. Everybody liked him. He was a cool guy. He was like the family favorite from those 3 guys. And I used to like him too. He was, play cards. He used to drive me around, give me toys, cook for me and stuff like that. He was a cool dude. But one day I remember I came back from school, and I knocked on the door, and nobody was there, just Felipe. And so what happened was, I was in the kitchen. He made me eggs. He made me food. And then when I was eating, he called me into his room, and he put on something on TV. I can't remember what was on TV. And then I remember him like sitting on the edge of the bed. Like, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, but kind of up. And I remember he was wearing black sweatpants. And like, I seen something rise from the black sweatpants, but I didn't really know what it was. I was 5 years old. I didn't know. And then all of a sudden, he tells me to sit on his lap. So when I was sitting on his lap, I felt him like doing something to my butt. I'm like, okay, this is weird, and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what to do. I was just like, okay. And then he proceeded to do it for like 5 or 10 minutes, just doing that. And then I just, told him to get off me, and I left back to the living room, and then fortunately, when I went to the living room, that's when everybody came back when they walked into the house. So I think later that night, or a day or two later, at home, my mom felt something was wrong, and she was like, "Fredo, come here." I go, "Yeah, what's up?" I ain't say that then, but I'm speaking from my mindset now. I was like, "Yeah, mom, hey, yeah." She goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm okay." She goes, "Today, did something happen?" I go, "No." She goes, "Fredo, don't lie to me." And I was like, "Yeah, mommy." She goes, "What happened?" And I said, "Felipe touched me." And she goes, "What?" And the thing is, this is when my mom and dad were living together. My dad was sleeping, and all of a sudden, my dad just gets up. I hear him. He goes, "Oh hell no, this motherfucker!" Da, 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 da. He's going wild. And my mom and my dad was like, "Yo, let's go. I'm gonna kill this nigga. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna kill him." And then my mom was like, all panicking. And then my dad just woke up. He's like, one shoe off, one shoe on. His shirt is half on. Blah blah blah. And then they dropped me off at my aunt's house. And when we get to my aunt's house, it's crazy because my aunt's house is right around almost around the corner from where my great grandma lived. And my aunt was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And my mom was like, "Oh, Felipe touched Alfredo, whatever." She goes, No, sit down and talk about this, blah, blah, blah." And my mom and my dad, they gangster. They hood as hell. So they're like, "Oh, no." It's like, "No, we're going to take care of this now, blah, blah, blah." So what my dad did, and, so what happened was, my great-grandma's house had a thick front door. Like, it was really thick. And when my dad back then, he's still to this day, all he wears is Timberland boots. That's all he wears. And my mom's telling me this now. My mom told me this. He kicked in the door, and then my grandma's in a living room, and she's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Blah, blah, blah. And then the way the house is set up is the front door, then it's the living room right there to your left. Well, as soon as you open the door, is a piano. But if you go a little bit more, probably 4 or 5 more steps down to the right is where all the rooms are at. And then straight ahead is the bathroom. And then to the left is a little kitchen. So my dad took the left, and he was sitting, basically as soon as you turn into the kitchen, he was sitting right there on the table. What my dad did, he hit him. And then my dad he fell on the floor. Then my dad just kept hitting him, stomping him on his face, stomping on his ribs, just hitting him. He wouldn't stop at all. It was basically kind of an attempted murder, I guess. Like, my dad was just stomping him, kicking him, punching him, whatever. And then my great grandma's, "Oh my God, call the cops." And my grandma's like, "Yeah, you call the cops. Guess who's going to jail? Not Alfredo. My dad is also named Alfredo." And so they ain't call the cops. They ain't get the police involved at all. And then the guy Felipe, he was in bed for 4 months. Let's just say that. Like, they took care of him for 4 months. Like, he didn't go to the hospital. Like, he was basically laying stiff on a bed for 4 months. He lived, but and then another thing with the Felipe guy, he also molested my little cousin. I found out about this when I was 16. My little cousin was probably 10. And my cousin ain't telling him. My cousin only told me. He said, "Fredo, don't say anything." My cousin only told me. He didn't tell his mom. He didn't tell his dad. He didn't tell his sister. He didn't tell his other brother. He only told me because me and my cousin Littlefoot at the time were brothers, man. Like, me and him still to this day, but he moved further south the country. But I spoke up for him, and I told his mom eventually. I told his dad eventually, and they, of course, they got mad. My uncle wanted to kill him too, but this time we actually got the police involved, because what happened was, I was in school, and I I used to have anger issues, but like I still like to talk about my problems. So like I had a school social worker, and I was talking to him. I was like, so I told him I was molested, and he goes, and then I told him about my cousin that he got molested. Excuse me. And then he goes, how old is your cousin? At the time, I was like 13. When I told, he goes, oh, you know, we gotta get the police involved, whatever, and they got the police involved, and then he got charged, the guy, and he got like 10 years probation. He's now registered as a sex offender. And, but what I want y'all to understand is, speak up. Don't be afraid. Sorry if I'm playing with the mic. I have a bad habit of, you know, doing stuff while I'm talking. But, speak up. You know, don't be afraid at all. You know, this is something serious. This is not something to play around with, you know. You know, like, it hurt me. It hurt me growing up. And it haunted me a lot growing up, you know, and I don't want nobody else to suffer, you know. Even though it is a very, very touchy subject, just don't hold back, you know, because the longer you live with it, the longer it's gonna haunt you, and you're also gonna have trust problems too, you know. Like, that just shows to me, like, when I have a kid, I have to keep my eye on my kid, you know. I have to keep my eye on him at all times. You know, watch out who my child is around, you know, because a fact is 95% of the people who get molested is from a family member or like a family member, you know. So, you know, just watch out. Even if it's your own family, still watch out around your kids, you know. If one of your family members seems a little off, make sure you keep your eye on him or her, you know. And it's a very touchy subject, and now I'm comfortable sharing it. I have no problem telling people I was molested as a kid, because if they were molested as a kid, they speak up, you know, and be like, damn, yo, you know, I never told anyone this, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you know, you should tell your parents or something like that, you know, like, help the world put bad guys away, you know. Like, my personal opinion on people who molest kids should be put to death. That's just how I think of it, you know. And even in jail, one of my cousins, he was in jail for like 10 years. They said every time like a pedophile or like a molester or whatever, or a woman beater went to jail, they're the first people to get jumped, and some of them don't even live, you know. So, you know, help put those people away, you know. So that's it for now. It's your boy Asad, and just speak up. Peace.